right. Hi, everybody. Good morning and welcome to B2B Breakfast to Business with your morning girl, Bea Lim, Managing Director of Team Asia. It's been quite a week of a lot of reimagining the future, a lot of insights and also news as we look into the future and what it's going to look like with our processes, our goals, the opportunities out there, and we are very excited to look into that, right? And look into how we can reimagine the future so that we ourselves can pivot our businesses, we ourselves can pivot our role as digital consumers as well in the aftermath of COVID-19. So last week, guys, during episode 4, we talked about McKinsey's 5 pathways towards going beyond coronavirus. And that was really from responding to the change, being resilient, looking into a plan of return, reimagining the future, and of course, looking into the reforms of what will shape this new normal and how we can all participate in the future, not only as consumers and businesses, but as citizens of the world that is recovering from this global pandemic. So just to summarize what we talked about during that time, successfully adapting to the aftermath of COVID-19, guys, entails organizations, us as individuals, us as business people, to reinvent ourselves, right? Reinvent ourselves, the way we work, the way we play, the way we think, the way we share, and look into the different insights that we've garnered throughout the global pandemic and look into how we as people, as businesses can evolve with the tech, with the new insights, with the new opportunities out there. The second thing that we also talked about is that there are bigger opportunities actually than the challenges. We wanted to give you guys that food for thought last week that yes, we know it's hard, there's so many challenges, there's so many things that we have to look into, but we also know that there are a lot of bigger opportunities out there as long as we are able to shift our mindset, look into the ways that we can pivot and grab those opportunities, make it for the betterment of our services and products, and look into how fast, how agile, and how creative we can pivot those business products and services so that we can, of course, service our consumers. We also know that these bigger opportunities entail adopting technology that drives our productivity, and we have to look also into how we can maximize those opportunities by using the tech that we have today. We also have a stronger sense of what makes business more resilient to shocks, how we can be more productive, and of course, better deliver our services to our customers. So last week, I also gave you guys a food for thought that when life gives you lemons, you don't have to just make lemonade. What you need to do is to look into the best lemon recipe that's out there for you. I even told you guys my favorite, which is when life gives you lemons, ask for some tequila and salt. Have fun with it. Look into the bright side of things because you cannot look into the bright side of things when you are bogged down by the challenges or by the thought that there is no life after this. So we need to wean ourselves out of that mindset and look into, okay, now that I have this challenge, how can I make my product, how can I make my service, how can I make my brand fit this new normal? How can I reinvent myself so that I can grab the future, reinvent it, reimagine it, and package it into something beautiful and something that will matter to my consumers. So last week, I also told you that I didn't want to just reimagine the future with positive thoughts, with shifting mindsets. I also told you guys that I have a special guest today that will really give us tips, tricks, and tools that can help us reimagine that future and pave the path from shifting from the old normal or the way things used to be to this particular time, which has been a little bit more challenging, looking into ways that we can pivot or change our business strategies into transitioning and looking forward to the future reimagined. And I know, especially to the SME owners out there, that It's been quite a roller coaster and it's been challenging for us, me included. I've shared with you our story. And we really turn to this partner that we have and look into what they can do for us, how they can equip us not only from a mindset shift perspective, but also look into, tools that we can use to really adapt our businesses into this new normal, right? So again, tips, tricks, and tech and tools, that's what you're going to be getting today. And I have a very special guest with me, and I met him about 2 years ago at the Singapore FinTech Festival when UnionBank of the Philippines, as part of their very amazing program for SME owners, brought about 25 entrepreneurs from the Philippines to network and meet with other entrepreneurs around the region in the Singapore FinTech Festival. And so we hit it off, we had a great time, and I felt that he's the best person to tell us what we can do to equip ourselves as we reimagine the new future. So I have with me today the Vice President of the SME Business Group of UnionBank of the Philippines to discuss banking in the digital future. His name is Jaypee Soliman, and of course, I have to tell you guys all the great things about Jaypee before I bring him in and start the discussion, right? So just so that you know some tips about Jaypee, as the head of the group that specializes in UnionBank's various innovations on tech banking, products and services, he has also been a seasoned expert advice to SMEs in finding the right solutions for their businesses. Jaypee's participation in the overall SME advocacy of UnionBank has been of great help to entrepreneurs all over who are still unsure on how to go about their e-commerce venture, even to the MSMEs digital transformation ventures from a financial technology and platform solutions standpoint. So Jaypee has been with UnionBank since 2008, starting his career in transaction banking and cash management up to April of 2015. He moved on to take the role as head of customer segments management unit under retail banking, where he specializes in customer journey mapping and insighting, product tech development, and platforms. Later on, by November of 2019, he was appointed to be the head of SME Platforms Unit under SME Business Banking Group, Transaction Banking Center. He now manages various SME-related platforms such as the UnionBank Global Linker, which is why I met Jaypee, and that's why we have him on the call, because he is going to be the best person to tell us how UnionBank of the Philippines can partner and power SMEs during this time. Hey, Jaypee, are you there?
Yes, hi Bea. This is so exciting. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Jaypee. I'm so excited because you are our first non-Team Asian guest on our Breakfast to Business podcast. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Wow, it's so flattering that you actually had us as the first non-Team Asia guest. Huh? That's so nice to hear. Thank
Of
you.
course, because UnionBank is the best partner for this one. We really wanted to have you guys on board because I know you have really looked into equipping SMEs, not just during this time, right? It's been something that you guys have been doing very passionately for the past couple of years. And, with Union Bank also being the number one digital bank, it's just but right that we have you on board, because the burning question really of all SMEs today is, how do I move forward, right? How do I move forward from this global pandemic? And so we're glad to have you here, Jaypee, because I really want to know your thoughts on how we can move forward from this one. So before anything, I just want to check, how are you? How are you amidst this global crisis?
Me personally, day to day, it's been busier than normal. I guess the new normal now is that you do not anymore count the traffic. You do not count the travel time. Everything is one click. So meetings nowadays would be what, 7 in a day, 6 in a day, things like that. Versus before that, I can do 2, 3 meetings in a day because there's traffic, there's travel, there's parking. You have all the excuses in the world, but now no more excuses.
I know, I can feel you. We were just saying as a team also that work from home seems to be busier than work from not home, right? Because you are available, like what you said, with one click of a button. And you also feel more available to people because of less distractions like traffic or the musings of having to go out. So now it feels like you are more productive, but at the same time you need to shift the transition from personal life to work life, right?
Exactly. Something that I've really learned this lockdown, especially on the work side, right? That because you also have that idea of, okay, I'm at home, the distractions at home, I have to control that, and now it's really what you call the hardest hit is that the work life integration thing. It's really integrating both at the same time. It's no longer balancing it, right?
Right.
There are times that there's no more weekends. There's times that you're having a video conference call and then suddenly your kid will jump on your lap and join the conference call. So it's integrating the two, and being able to manage that accordingly.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Actually, you know what? 2 episodes down, we had the wins and woes of great work from home experiences. I mean, there are times when you have to also laugh about the situation also because if before you were so worried that if you were working from home, the family life is going to be there and you have to be very careful, but now people are also more accepting. People have to accept it because we're all in this together and we're all working from home. We need to be able to integrate work and life, and have a sweet combination, but also to make sure that you take breaks for yourself. I think that was what was the hardest thing to do, right? During the first few weeks is saying, okay, when do I take a break and how can I do that break, right? Make sure that mental health breaks are also done.
Yes, exactly. One thing I did, which I think is very, very good. Some of you might get this as a tip: buy a stationary bike or a treadmill.
I love it. I love it. No, you're doing a break and at the same time keeping fit. And endorphins give you that boost of creativity and productivity too. So I like that tip, JP. I should have you for our next one. Maybe we should have a topic on what are the things that you can do to keep your mind off things and to give you that healthy break, right? I'll let you know once we have that. All right, cool. So, JP, today we said that we're going to talk about how SMEs can move forward, right? From all of the challenges that we've been experiencing brought on by COVID-19. So, before we go into really talking about your tips, tricks, and the tech that you can share with us, let's talk about first the SME group of the Union Bank of the Philippines. What are you guys doing? And tell us about the passion that you guys have for equipping and empowering SMEs. Go ahead.
All right. So if we talk about the SME group specifically of Union Bank, there's a lot of changes that happened, and we are also seeing our own new normal in the way we do things. Of course, it will not stop wherein the thrust of SME banking in whatever bank is about providing financial security, financial assistance to the SMEs and the customers. But one big pivot that we did was really looking into, okay, I'm giving my customer a loan, but am I making sure that they will be able to pay that loan? The traditional way of giving a loan is looking at their financial statements, looking at the operations and say, okay, they are stable enough to be able to pay me. But the new normal is saying, guys, we're all back to zero, right? Forget about all those financial statements. Forget about 2 year income. Forget about 2 year losses. It's about restarting, and how can a bank or a company help the SME in that overall restarting program. That's why we've started building up different techs, promoting up tech that we had before. In fact, as of the moment, there are a lot of new innovations that we are programming that will really be helpful to the SMEs. And it's not just about borrowing money. It's not just about me being able to get your money as forms of deposits, but it's really about me embedding my technology to your company, even if it means embedding myself in terms of content for your employees, if it means embedding myself in terms of your relationship with your supply chain. Those are the things that we are doing now. So if you look at it, it's holistic. In fact, right now, even our own sales team, we have an SME sales team. Of course, you'd know them as the loan officers, right? The people who will force you to, here's a bunch of documents, please fill this up. No, no. That's the old normal. The new normal, they're about relationships. They talk more to the customers. They converse. They ask you, how are you in the most empathic and sincere way, right? And I'm actually amused on the kind of insights and the kinds of conversations that our team is having with customers. There was one nice story that uh, an SME customer of ours in Batangas, the province in southern Luzon, actually cried during the conversation because she felt really important that the bank was reaching out not to tell her that, hey, your loan is gonna get due, but actually asking her, how's your business, how's your family, how's your kid, right? How's life for you now in competition? Let's talk about person to person rather than business to business. So those are the new normal for us. And we feel that getting in touch better with the person behind the business is what's going to drive also the new normal, not just for Union Bank, but for all financial institutions later on. And I hope that people will really start being empathic and be more interpersonal that way.
No, that's fantastic, JP, because that's exactly what what I feel also as a business owner, right? Because we know this, like what you said, we know we have our partners, we know that we may have loans due, that there are a lot of different obligations that we as businesses still have to be able to put forth, even during this extraordinary times. But it's different when your partner doesn't just be there for you and tell you that, hey, these are the ways that we can go about it. It's so important for your partner to also ask you how you are and be with you every step of the way, not only from a product and service and tech aspect, but as your genuine partner in crime. Because I love what you said. It's about restarting, and restarting is about being together. There was no playbook that was given to us when this happened about moving forward, and being hand in hand is actually what's going to create the success of the future. No, I love that. Thank you for sharing that, JP. On that note, because I was very touched with the example that you gave about your partner or one of your customers in Batangas. Can you share with us how drastic the impact of COVID-19 has been to your partner MSMEs, and what are the common challenges that they have been facing during this pandemic?
Well, the number one concern of the SME really is about their people. So I guess it's really about heart to heart. The very first thing that business owners really thought of was, it's not even themselves, it's their people. So the very first conversations we really had was, how can you help me provide for my employees? So that I need to give them their pay even if I'm closed, even if I'm locked down. And what we noticed was a trend. Initially, those in the essential goods really are still operating. They're moving up. They're continuing. People in the logistics, but most businesses outside the essential goods. So you have your fashion, your retail, even construction. Everyone's in a halt, and that's the key problem that they had was how do we pay? And then slowly this whole lockdown started to extend. On the first extension of the lockdown, I think it was another 2-week extension. Even those in the essential goods started to feel the heat because now it was an enhanced quarantine where even essential goods are being stopped at checkpoints. Right? You heard stories about that. Even food deliveries, FMCG, uh, trucks with cup noodles being stopped at checkpoints. So they're starting to really see a harder environment in terms of operating. And now it starts going a little bit deeper in terms of the person. At first, I was concerned about my employees. Now I'm concerned about my family as well. And the hardest decision to make is when a business owner would say, I have to stop paying my employees. Because they know that if I stop paying employees, it's like stop paying families as well. But I have to protect my family. So see, as a business owner, that is for me the toughest thing that you would ever have to decide on. You can close your business, you can close your shop, you probably have savings or somewhere you can get some funds for your family. But when you start looking about the people that you also serve, that's the biggest concern that our customers are really facing. Honestly, it's not about shifting to online. It's really about survival.
Correct.
And that's tough. That's tough.
No, I know. We were talking about survival of the fittest as well. I mean, this theory that has been there for hundreds and hundreds of years, and here we are going back to that, right? And survival of the fittest has actually changed the definition, right? Of the fastest, the most agile, the most creative, and the most determined will survive. But the question now is, how do we survive, right? How do we survive, and how do we balance the need for us to provide for our own families, but at the same time also to make sure that our people are provided for, are well taken care of? And how do we all move forward knowing that, this is the case for a lot of people out there, right? Because we are an SME driven country as well. So on that note, JP, how I would like to know really how Union Bank has helped address the needs also of your partner SMEs, because I know you guys have always been committed in fostering sustainable growth, right, for our MSMEs out there. But I'd love to know also, like, what are the things that you guys were able to do to be able to help them? What were the products and services and communities that you've put together for our MSMEs?
Right. So I guess we were a bit lucky that even 4 years ago, we've started building all this technology, looking at customer journeys, looking at customer experiences, and being very futuristic and such a visionary in terms of the management. We started seeing future proofing. So that's when the bank really started to talk about future proofing customer businesses, right? And we've developed things like digital account opening, digital borrowing, online platforms like Global Linker, which right now is proving very, very effective. Imagine you as an SME, I cannot go out, but this bank is telling me for me to be able to lend you money, you have to drop by my branch. And when you go inside the branch, it's so scary. Some branches even have like plastic sheet covers in their tellers, face masks, face shields. The guards, instead of holding guns, they're holding alcohols, right? It's quite scary. So why would you even go to a branch if you don't feel safe?
Correct.
So technology like this platform we call CCAP, which is very, very much used right now. We saw a spike in terms of users signing up for CCAP, where just at home, type in your details, and in 24 hours, or actually even in 4 hours, you get approved for a loan, right? So the comforts, the safety of being at home. And then we have platforms like our online banking for corporates, which we call business banking or the SME app, that now you can deposit a check through your mobile phone. So instead of going to a branch, take a picture of the check. You can transfer money from your account to other banks on your phone or on the web. In fact, just a few weeks ago, we launched the service where you can transfer money to remittance centers or pawn shops like LBC, Palawan Pawn Shop, Cebuana Lulier, which is again very, very much right on time, if we might want to say, right? And then of course we have and we're closely and seriously enhancing our platform called Global Linker, which is perfect again for this time, because now that you are thinking about how do I pivot, how do I restart, some companies are even talking to us saying, do I even close my business and start a new one? To that drastic point. And everyone is talking about, wait, do I have to go online? Do I have to start e-commerce? Where do I start? Do I build a website? Do I join a platform? Do I join Lazada, Shopee? It's very, very funny that people are saying, because you know what, my neighbor or my best friend or my business partner said we have to sell our products online. And when you ask them, so what's your product? Oh, I'm in the service industry. Ah, guess what? Marketplaces will not work for you, right? It's not always the right solution. Maybe
Correct.
that's why
Correct.
the first thing we did with Global Linker was to make sure we have the right knowledge content to help the SME.
Good.
That's very important. And like what I've always been saying since the start of the pandemic or the start of the lockdown is that the SME or the business owner who's resilient is the one who will persevere and make sure they learn about the new normal. Nobody can tell you what the new normal is. Honestly, even I cannot tell you what 2 weeks from now, what the new normal will be. It can change, right? But you can be prepared. So we have to make sure that our SMEs are ready for what could be the future by giving them the right knowledge, the right content. We bring our ears to the ground. We even ask our members, what is the perfect webinar for you? What's the perfect content for you? And that's what we try to do.
That's
At the,
fantastic.
yeah, at the start, people are asking, can you tell us how to do this, how to do that? Okay. And then next, can you tell us how to do search engine optimization? I said, wow, you're getting techie a little bit, huh? So next, can you teach us how to do a product shoot? How's the right positioning for a product? Wow, you're starting to really go technical. And then later on, we started different forums like legal aid forums, like business advisory forums, and we got surprised that nowadays people are no longer just looking at us saying, hey JP, what can you advise me, what can you advise me? But people are asking each other. It's peer to peer now. People are asking other business owners in the platform. They're treating themselves as friends, and I guess that's going to be part of the new normal. Peer to peer will be heavy in the new normal. Gone are the days that there's one expert, but the new normal will state that everyone, it's the digital bayanihan stage, right? It's digital bayanihan right now. And that's the one thing that we really are happy to see happening in our platform as well, aside from those other tools that we'll probably be talking about later on.
I want you to tell us more about Union Bank Global Linker. So let's talk about that more. How did it start? What is it that we're doing there? And how have you seen actually the shift from the vision of before and what it's being used to for today?
Right. So if we talk about Global Linker back in 2018, I think that's when we met, roughly September or
Yes.
yeah, around that time. Well, Global Linker started, we launched it as a bank back in end of 2017, roughly December 2017, and went full blast in 2018. We started it as a networking tool. There was this grand idea before that you have Facebook for your friends, you have LinkedIn for coworkers and professionals. There's nothing for SMEs. And most of the time, if you talk about platform for SMEs, they're actually selling you something. They're selling you a website, they're selling you a payment gateway or some sort, right? So we started Global Link and said, no, let's harp on actually building a small community. Imagine this. If you are a business owner, I give you a nameplate, right? Nameplate, Bea Lim. And then over your head, I put a big folder with the most basic of your company profile, what you do, what your products, etc. I put you inside a room with 30 other business people, lock it for 3 hours. What will happen in that 3 hours? I'm sure businesses will happen in the next 3 hours. There will be
Correct.
contracts, there will be conversations. That was the initial intent of Global Linker. We're not locking you into a room, but we're locking you in a virtual space. But we're putting it together. That's why the first thing that we provided in that networking tool was your digital calling card and your digital profile. We had to make sure that there was enough traction and connect you not just to Filipinos but also other nationalities who are part of the platform. So there's heavy involvement with India. We just launched a partner in Vietnam. I think I can already say, but Global Linker is looking at entering Europe and US markets very soon as well. So imagine the opportunities that you can get if and we had to make sure that the user experience is as closer to home as possible. We had to study very much how you do it in Facebook, how you do it in LinkedIn, be able to put in the right communication experience and user journeys the same way as you're doing it there. And then so the whole 2018 we started promoting, and in fact there was a trade connect that happened in 2018 where we brought 25 of our members to Singapore to really start seeing face to face with their friends, their global linker friends from other countries. And then as we went along, we started realizing, hey, you know what? Networking might not be the only solution. It might not be the only thing that the SMEs would need. We have to start thinking future proofing. So we started building in tools for them. Like, okay, so you get to talk to other SME people online. So what do you do when you're starting to like sign a contract or do business? We take it offline. So why can't we bring it online as well? So here comes Linker Store. And we started promoting, you know what, Bea and JP, you can now finish your contract inside Global Linker. And it started to be more of B2B, right? So you have your Linker Store, you can now expose it and publish it even for customers outside Global Linker. So it becomes B2C. And we started learning from there, like, okay, why not let's experiment in like a Lazada or a Zalora type feel, but we'll keep it in a closed ecosystem inside Linker, like B2B. So we started listings. So now an SME can publish their products, their services for the other members so they can inquire, they can purchase. It actually helped the conversations and the business matching. It simplified it because now I can directly see your product, I can directly see your service, right? And then we started to there was this clamor from the members to really provide a lot of content, a lot of different
Yeah.
articles, write-ups. You know what's very, very surprising was initially we thought we had to write the content ourselves. I believe we also asked the help of Team Asia back then to please write content. But you'd notice now 50% or 60% of the content is written by the members themselves.
That's amazing.
They're posting their own, they're sharing articles. We even had to advise our members now, please, if you're posting an article from a magazine, please put the source. Because it's, you know, it's
Yeah.
you have to put the source, you have to put who wrote it, that you're just sharing this. You have to advise if it's personal opinion. Because right now people are really, really interacting. And that if we go back to 2017, that's what we really wanted to start up with.
Correct.
But we are slowly enhancing. So we started forums, we started groups. There's a group of Filipino retailers. There's a group of international manufacturing companies. They themselves are doing the peer-to-peer consulting, peer-to-peer sharing. And then we're going to move a little bit further. And I hope in the next couple of months, we could start what we call the Eureka 2.0 Business Advisors Forum, where
Nice.
we have a team of we call experts or seasoned in terms of age and experience, business advisors who will give free advice and assistance to the SMEs. So this time around, you can be sure that the type of advisory that you're getting is tested and proven, or
Right.
might be a bit closer to how the new normal thing would be evolving, right? So there's so many things, and then we started learning that a lot of the SMEs are not digital to the core, but that's really the key strength of Union Bank is bringing customers digital to the core. And we said, you know what, as Union Bank, as Global Linker, uh, although we want to be able to provide everything, we know that we cannot do everything.
Correct.
We know that it will take us number of years to create new technology around accounting, around human resources, and there may be regulations surrounding that. So what we did was we employed that idea of group buying. If you remember, I'm sure you did Groupon, right? All those hotel group buying things. We employed that idea and brought it in the business tool space. Honestly, right now, I'm gonna give it a shout out already because this will happen and I'm sure it will happen. Google called us up, Salesforce called us up, and they want to be part of Global Linker to provide tools for the SMEs.
That's amazing.
So I told them about the idea of group buying, that I'm not gonna accept your proposal if you're telling me that you're going to charge $50 per SME per user. I'm only going to accept as low as $12 per user. That's it.
Correct.
And they're happy to onboard, right?
That's
So
amazing.
so The idea of being able to provide the SME community cheaper alternatives. No, well, not alternatives. These are the same products that you're getting, but cheaper opportunities to digitize their businesses. That's a very, very big help for them as well. And since we launched a lot more business offers, as we call them, we've started to see members really viewing their profiles, viewing that particular product we're selling, and they can take the conversation offline later on, but be able to still get that discount that we offered at the onset. So if you notice, slowly we're trying to bring the
Yeah.
SME to the digital world, right? And it's more of embedding ourselves in the process of doing it and making sure that it's not expensive for them to digitize. That's the very first thing we learned in Union Bank. It's expensive to digitize. If you are in our scale, right? If you do things in our scale, it will be expensive. But there are guys like us who can actually help you dumbify it, make it closer to how your business really operates, and provide you the right tools or the right partners that that will enable your digital transformation process. You know what? In this year alone, 2020, we're looking at January 1st to March. When was that? I took out the data around March 27, 28. We already have 280 newly built Linker stores.
That's amazing.
And we were surprised there were two very large brands that created Linker stores. I'm
That's
not gonna tell you who first because we still have to publish their websites, but brands. And we're also very, very happy and excited also learning about their own experience in creating a store. Back in January, when you were going to create a free web online thing that we give, the Linker store, it will take you like 10 different steps. In February, we studied and we listened to our members. We brought it down to 5 steps, 5 easiest steps as possible. Before, you'd have to drag and drop as many pictures as you can. Now, put it in a zip file and just dump it all in one go. Before, if you're selling shirts of different colors, you have to make a product listing for every color.
Yeah.
Now it's not like that. It's like Lululemon. Click on the color, the image changes. Our next step is actually to even try to you know when you're trying to drag that picture and it turns around, you can see the back, you can see the
Yeah.
side. That's a new thing we're trying to develop. So we already have launched the point where if you drag your mouse to that picture, it magnifies it.
Yes.
That's exciting. Yeah, so there's a lot of different enhancements as we go along also, and as our customers are needing those kinds of enhancements. We're trying to build websites and themes that are more directed to service providers rather than products. So one customer who owns a massage parlor said, "How can I do this now?" And the first thing I said, "You know what? I'm sorry to say, but I'll be honest. I'll be transparent. We're friends. Your massage parlor will not open until 2021,
Yeah.
right? So there has to be something new that you can do. And if you really want to go to the e-commerce space, maybe the first thing you can do is just keep providing an avenue where people would be able to see updates about your business, right?
Correct.
Maybe you can share things about aromatherapy that people will keep engaged so that when you're up and running already, when your store starts opening up again, people will not forget, oh, there's this spa close to my place. They helped me about aromatherapy. They sold me essential oils, right? So it's not because you're a massage parlor doesn't mean that the only thing you can sell is people doing massage. What if they can start promoting self-help? This is how you can massage your hand. You know, that kind of interaction, especially right now when everyone's locked down, will be the kind of interaction people will remember once the lockdown is over. That's the kind of interaction that people will crave and want to get to you more when this whole ECQ is over, no matter what your business is. Right? So those are the things that we are learning inside the platform, learning from our members, and we're trying to apply step by step in terms of tools for for the whole SMEs. That's also one reason why signing up to Global Linker does not require bank accounts. It only requires an email and a mobile phone. That's it. We do not even require you to have a registered business, even if you're just a brand, a home-based business. Even if you're not yet DTI registered, you can be part of Global Linker. And we did that because we want to really help as many people as possible. We don't want to be discriminating. We got surprised when one of the large manufacturing brands of bread actually onboarded in Global Linker. We just got surprised. We were looking at the new sign up report and suddenly boom. I said, wow, they're here. So I had to reach out and found out that the person who signed up was actually the CFO of that company. They're in finance, really. And we had conversations and we started exploring even how Global Linker can begin supply chain management.
That's amazing.
Not just for SME, but for large corporates as well. So starting to see also bigger opportunities. And yes, we've completed programming supply chain management inside Global Linker. We're going to test it with large. We can even explore doing it with medium-sized or small companies. And a lot of things happening right now. And you know what, Bea? Very, very surprising that I was talking about small, medium. How about the micro?
Yeah,
There are sari stores inside Global Linker.
that's
There
absolutely
are
amazing.
companies who are in the general merchandise. There are freelancers inside Global Linker. And we are even already in discussions of creating a sari marketplace for the Philippines. Right? One user experience that we've actually even us we're experiencing right now. Right? Say I have this is an example. This is not true. Say I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? What's the most basic thing that my 2-year-old would need aside from milk? Diapers. That's the fastest moving goods for kids and toddlers, diapers. And where do I get diapers now? Grocery stores. But it's a lockdown. Hey, look, you cannot go to the grocery store as often as you want, right? But I didn't know that this sari store, two houses down, actually carries diapers. I didn't know that. But I'm going online. I go to Lazada, I go to Shopee, I order a diaper. And guess what? It will take you 5 days before you can get the diapers that you ordered.
Correct.
But what if there's a marketplace that will tell you, you know what, JP? There's 5 different sari stores around you that actually has inventory of diapers that you need. Click here to order now. And you know, they don't need logistics. They don't need the motorcycle to deliver to you. If they have a teenager who has a bike, they can deliver it to your house. If you're
Yeah.
walking distance, they can actually walk to your house and give you the diapers, right? So to that level of connecting communities in a digital bayanihan scenario, we're actually also starting to build inside Linker, and that's very, very exciting. We've
So for
seen it
sure.
happen. We've seen it
Yeah.
happen. We've piloted that in other countries, and it's time that we do it also in the Philippines. And I've posted one single sentence in a group chat, in a Viber group chat together with Department of Trade and other large corporates. I said, I have this grand idea how we can digitize the sari store. 2 minutes in, I got messages from 5 large corporates who wants to join. And that's amazing. And how people are also wanting to help each other, the government doing everything they can to help the SMEs. And if you have a powerful platform like Global Linker in the middle, just imagine what more we can do, right? Not just
Yeah.
on a local national space, but on a global space, really.
I love what you said earlier about digital bayanihan because I think that that's what we all need, right? Everybody's telling us to pivot online. Everybody's telling us, hey, these are the different tech, the different platforms. But really, what you need first and foremost is that virtual community that will help you understand, that will help empower you, that will help shift your mindset, and at the same time provide you the tools that you need to be able to make that shift to digital, right? And I love that there is, like you mentioned, it's not just about the tools that are provided in the platform. It's not also just about the network that we provide, right? Like the other folks that you have brought in to help people, especially on legal, on tax, and all of those things. But it's also about having that group sharing of, hey, you know what? We're all in this together. Let's move forward, and this is how I can help you out, or this is how we can maximize one another. So that really in itself is getting people to move forward while we all define and reimagine the future.
Yes, exactly. Different strokes for different folks. Maybe today, maybe Jose needs to understand things. Maybe Maria needs to start onboarding to digital tools. Maybe Jaime, instead of reading, wants to see videos about things. Different tools, different strokes for different folks. We have to be able to provide all of those
I love it.
inside our platform.
And with everything that you said, JP, the future doesn't really look so bleak. The future actually looks very promising. It's something that is full of opportunities as long as we are able to, number one, shift our mindset. Number two, get deep into our virtual communities. And number three, look into the best tech and tool partners that can enable your business and yourself as an entrepreneur to tech up and to enjoy the future. So, JP, my last question for you is advice. Of course, I mean, I'm an SME owner as well. I mean, a lot of our listeners are also SME owners or also could be friends of those folks. What would be your advice to MSMEs listening to B2B right now in terms of how to reimagine the future and tech up for the coming new normal that we are going to transition to?
Right. Well, I guess the best advice I could really give is based on my learnings also the past few how many are we, 45 days in lockdown or more?
8 weeks. We're
eight
entering our eighth
weeks
week. Yes.
Yes, 8 weeks. So the best advice is my personal experience. First week of the lockdown, I was very, very scared because I don't know what will happen. Because you are blind when you don't look at if you don't look at the future as something you can control from today, right? So always look at the future as the result of what you're doing today. That way you get to see a path, you get to see the light, as they say, right? So that's the first week of the lockdown. I didn't know. Until the second week of the lockdown, I started really doing a lot of introspecting and saying, hey, you know what? What if next week I I start planning my next week today, right? So my future doesn't look dark anymore because I know this is what's going to happen to me next week. Maybe plan as short term as that, honestly, because things would change. You'll never know. Our president might go back on air today and say something else that might hamper whatever going to happen next week. So the key advice there really is do something already today. Start envisioning what your next week, your next month, your after lockdown will look like. And that's the new normal for you. Nobody can tell you what the new normal will be. Nobody will be able to force to you what the new normal will be. You will create your new normal. If you tell yourself, I need to get ready to go e-commerce, then get ready to do e-commerce. Do it now. Learn it, right? Start building the tools. If you tell yourself, nope, my new normal will be e-commerce is only informational, but I will continue to service my customers, but I have to find a way that I can service them faster, better, maybe more digital in terms of my process, then start learning it now. Plan your next week like, okay, next week I'm going to start talking to this person, this person. I'll try to read about this technology. I'll try to search this technology, right? One step at a time. That's the best thing to do. That's the best advice. And to the SMEs, please do not think about closing your businesses. There's no business that will close for this lockdown. I guarantee you. Be persistent because closing the business is not really closing doors, right? It's just maybe building another door, because when you close a particular business right now, you're opening up another opportunity. So don't look at it as closing the business. Don't look at it as I need to retrench or I need to fire my employees. Look at it in a different way. Right? Look at it as I might be building another set of opportunities for my people, for myself, for my family, and for my community. So always stay positive. I guess that's what I'm really trying to say. Always stay positive and plan, act one step at a time. Don't look at 5 years from now, 3 years from now. I'm saying not even 3 months from now. Plan 3 weeks, as short term as you can. It's easier to pivot that way. It's easier to be agile.
So, JP, maraming salamat for being a great part of this conversation. I know we had like conversations from virtual communities to preparing for whatever new normal is gonna come, and of course also really suiting up those people who really need us the most, which is our micro, our small, our medium enterprises, and even those big guys, right? Even those big guys that are coming in to help us, that are moving this new normal so that we can all emerge victorious from this global pandemic. So thank you so much, JP, for being with us.
I'll be very happy to join you again anytime.
That's fantastic. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jaypee Soliman of the Union Bank of the Philippines. Just before we end, guys, I know JP said a lot of great things, and those should all be your food for thought this week. That can be the whole platter for the next coming days. You're solved for Monday to Friday up until the next time we do talk. But I would actually really like to impart this one saying that kept on coming back to me all throughout what JP mentioned, right? And that is an old African proverb, which happens to also be my favorite. And it goes something like this: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you can go together. And I think that what we just talked about today, with not only the tips, the tricks, the tools, the tech that Union Bank has shared with us, having a partner by your side is really what will drive us forward, what will move us forward. Guys, don't forget, you're not alone in this. There's no playbook, but at least we have each other. So let's suit up and have fun for the rest of the week. Thank you so much, and see you for episode 6 here at Breakfast to Business. Thank you so much, guys. Bye!